About 230 miles west of Mexico City lies Lake Pátzcuaro, one of the highest and most picturesque bodies of water in all of Mexico. It was in this region that a courageous tribe of Indians, known as Tarascans, sought refuge from the encroachments of the white man, and it is to their credit that they succeeded in maintaining a spirit of independence that is still the heritage of their descendants, who now inhabit this so-called Kingdom of the Tarascans. One of the most picturesque of the many islands which dot the waters of Lake Pátzcuaro is Janitzio, with its huge statue dominating the entire region. This gigantic monument is a memorial to the Mexican patriot priest, José María Morelos, who heroically gave his life for the liberation of Mexico from the domination of Spain. Inside this colossal monument may be seen a series of paintings depicting dramatic episodes in the life of Morelos. Incidentally, the statue is a gift from ex-President Cardenas, who ordered it to be placed here because Morelos was a great benefactor of the Tarascan Indians. The natives of this colorful little settlement are particularly adept at making the famous Tarascan lacquerware. Wooden receptacles of variegated shapes are first covered with a base of compact clay, which serves to preserve the wood, as well as to provide a smooth surface over which an artist may paint colorful reproductions of fruit, birds, and flowers. Although a fair amount of revenue is derived from the sale of these lacquer platters, the chief means of native livelihood comes from hunting and fishing. And the dugout canoes which are used for that purpose are similar in design to those that were used on Lake Pátzcuaro 1,000 years ago. Can you guess how many passengers are in this canoe? All right, now count them, and don't overlook the babies. "15 in all, and we were told there was room for more." The choice fish delicacy of Lake Pátzcuaro is the pescado blanco, a small white fish which is caught in nets, then carefully cleaned by the women and children and dried in the sun. Far from the turbulent world beyond their kingdom, the Tarascan Indians seem to enjoy their utopia of peace and contentment, and each family devotes itself in work or play to the community at large. The Tarascan children are noted for their good behavior. With them, silence is golden. They are seen but seldom heard. And here is the regular afternoon session of the Tarascan Knitting Circle. Since time immemorial, they have been knitting their own fishing nets, and ordinarily this would be a serious occasion, but our presence seems to amuse them very much. The island of Janitzio has all the charm of an old-world hamlet, and it is easy to understand why it has inspired many paintings of great renown. The Tarascans occasionally visit the mainland to celebrate some festival or Saint's Day, such as the one that is celebrated every year at Sinsunsan, a small village a few miles from Lake Pátzcuaro, which we now visit. Although most of the Tarascan Indians are devout Roman Catholics, they have not completely abandoned their pagan worship of our Father Sun and our Mother Moon, which was inherited from their ancestors. The Sinsunsan religious fiesta does not confine itself to worship. It also provides a meeting place at which the news of the village is discussed and various wares are bought and sold, while local bands and masked dancers contribute to the general entertainment. Contrasting with the natives engaged in the primitive festivities is the Mexican government nurse, who moves amongst them quietly applying vaccination serums without charge. The transitions of time have been very slow with the Tarascans, but in this simple scene we may sense something of the progress being made among a primitive people that formerly scorned the medical science of the white man. This dance goes on for hours with little or no variation, but our time is limited, so we will leave these simple folk to enjoy their fiesta while we return to Lake Pátzcuaro, where the soft reflections of eventide add new beauty to the region and lure us to visit another island before we depart. There are about 30 Tarascan families on this island, and all of them have persistently resisted the onslaughts of civilization. They live in a realm of peace and ask for nothing but the privilege of working out their lives in their own way, even as their forefathers did on these very islands for centuries before the coming of the white man. As with all the other Tarascans, their chief source of livelihood is derived from the fish which they catch in Lake Pátzcuaro. Consequently, the services of every man, woman, and child are devoted to the fishing industry. The fishermen ply the lake in dugout canoes with unique nets which look like butterfly wings. When actually fishing, the nets are dipped into the water at the end of a long pole, and the fish are scooped up into the boats. Early morning or late evening, when the shadows are long, are the favored fishing hours, if the fish are running, as was not the case at the time of our visit. Nevertheless, this odd regatta makes a beautiful picture, and it will always remain as the most impressive in our memories of picturesque Pátzcuaro.